Hi, everybody. Welcome to Windflow Talk. Another awesome day. We're grateful to God for His mercies that are new upon us every day. Every day above the ground, this day is enough to say, Father, thank you. Thank you for your grace and mercy upon all of us. So many people slept like you and I. They're not here, not because of your righteousness or because of your ability, but for the grace. So we give God the glory and praise that we're still here. Yes, the problems are there, the situations of life are still there, but at the right time, God will show up for you. Just remember that. We started last week about forgiveness without forgetting. Yeah, part two. So, how does one forgive without forgetting the issues? Does that mean it's forgiveness? It's so easy for any one of us to judge somebody in their walk with forgiveness. Forgiveness for me, it's a process. And I also love to hear your own opinions and your own views on how forgiveness has dealt or how you have dealt with forgiveness. It becomes an issue that it's so easy for any one of us to forgive, let go. Until it happens to you, you start to find out how difficult forgiveness is. It is so easy to forgive when it's somebody who did that to you as an outsider and not an insider. It's so easy when the person is a business contact or something that you can cut them completely and forget about them and your paths will never cross. Then you will call that forgiveness. It becomes a challenge when the person you need to forgive is a family member, is your inner core, are the people, your children, they're the people closest to you, they're the people you thought you could lean on, they're the people you thought had your back, they're the people you thought would protect and guide you. It's so hard for you to see and know that these are the people making you walk in unforgiveness. It is so easy for any person to say, oh, let it go, bury it, and move on. Where are you burying it to? When I remember a saying that says it is the last straw that broke the camel's back. We like to sweep things under the carpet. And one day, just a slight touch from that carpet pushed the dead all over the place. Something that you would have opened, swept it out completely, clean it, and remove it. No, we just push it and keep hiding it in the closet until one day the closet is so full that pours out, it's scattered all over the place, and you really cannot pull yourself together. It is so easy for us to try to tell people to walk in unforgiveness when we ourselves are unable to forgive other people. Sometimes you are the one who has created the sin that has brought in unforgiveness. Then you go around still saying, forgive. It's so easy for you to look from the outside and try to make conclusions and judgment when you have not won the show. My darling brothers and sisters, I have come to believe forgiveness is a process. Forgiveness is not a one day thing, it's a process and it's a gentle process depending on who the people are who have created that unforgiveness. Today at lunch, I asked a question on the table. I asked my family, I said, what would make you not forgive somebody? My husband just came out with, sorry, camera is dropping. My husband just came out with, if somebody kills my children, I will kill them and then end up in hell. So that's no issue for me. My daughter said, I'll not forgive anybody who hurts my family. I took in a deep breath. My daughter asked the question, Mommy, what about you? If somebody hurts us or if somebody kills your kids, would you not forgive them? Would you forgive them? And I took in a deep breath. I said, but for the grace of God, yes. If the grace of God is on me. I remembered a story where this man, an elderly man, story I ended up with last week, an elderly man came up and told a killer face to face. It hurts me. I struggle to say this, but my spiritual belief, my faith requires of me that I forgive you. So I forgive you and I love you. To somebody who has killed your only child, to somebody who your generation has come to a standstill. You have nothing to show for, no grandkids, nothing. I start to understand when Jesus says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. So if you don't love me, don't keep my commandments. It is so easy for us to stand and think that that guy was so weak to forgive somebody who has just killed his whole family. We have problems with the flesh fighting the spirit and the spirit fighting the flesh. Whichever one wins is whatever comes out of our mouth. When we understand the things of life, you're able to, there's situations in my life that I remember as a little girl, I would say, if this happens to me, this is what I'm doing. If that happens to me, this is what I'm doing. And most of the things have happened. Yet, God has elevated me above the standard of the enemy. Sometimes we think it is so easy. Somebody told me, says, Vivian, I think I should just do a revenge. I should get even and then forgive. Sometimes in life, even revenge is not enough. I have seen people who have revenged and then yet regretted for the revenge because they're still not satisfied. Then their character, their integrity is in question and they don't know how to take it back. But a story that really blessed me, and I hope the story will help you to start to see forgiveness in another light. The story of Joseph. Those who want references, Genesis, start from 44, 45, 46. Stories in there. Joseph was a son of Jacob. As we all know, the 12 tribes of Israel, Joseph was one of the children. And his brothers, biological brothers, sold him. Wanted to kill him, sold him for slavery. And in that country, he became a slave from home to home. From a father that fought with God and changed his name to a nation. That was one of his children. Now becoming a slave in people's house and being maltreated. Many of us would have said God was not with him. Many of us would have said if it was God, God cannot do that. God cannot do that. But the Bible reminded us, and yet God was with him. He left his father's house as a dreamer, but when his brothers met him, he was second in command. The dream had come to pass. He saw his brothers for the first time. He recognized them. They didn't know him. And he didn't say anything. Yes, he made them sweat a little bit. I just thought I would have done worse. God help me, forgive me. I would have done worse. But hey, when he went to expose himself to his brothers, what he did challenged me. And that is where I want us all to meditate on. When you read it, please find a place in your heart. Let the Spirit speak to you. Number one, he drove everybody out of the house. Why? He did not want people to have wrong impressions about his brothers. He did not want the other people to know that his brothers were capable of such wickedness, or that the brothers were still as wicked as they used to be. He drove them before he explained who he was. Reminded them, I'm your brother. Yes, your brother Joseph you sold for slavery. And they were shocked because now he was in a powerful position to actually put them in jail and throw the key forever. But he didn't do that. He blessed them. He forgave them. He says, what you meant for bad, but God. Get to a position of but God, with you and God, but God. Whatever situation, whatever unforgiveness you're working with, look for the strength of God in you, not the strength of your emotions. Your emotions will not let you go anywhere. Your emotions will struggle to pull you down. Your emotions will allow you not to forgive. Allow the Spirit in you to flow. Get to a point where you say, you know what, you meant this for bad, but God has elevated me. But God. Most of us, when you hear or when you have an issue with somebody, the best thing you go about is you go about telling every other person about that person's issue. Only reason is you want to make yourself feel better, good. The second reason is you want to show yourself better than that person. A lot of insecurity flows in society these days. When people see the need to drag you in an issue that has nothing to do with you, that apart from trying to belittle that person, make the other people hate that person, make the other people change their attitude, their behaviors towards that person because of what you have said. So making you have an ugly face with every other person. That is what our actions show us out there. Let us be careful. The next thing that blessed me, that the brother sent his brothers back with the best of Egypt to go and bring their father. Even the king of Egypt, Herod, was willing to bless his brothers and sisters. He saw no rejection. He didn't even question why the king was giving his brothers who had done that horrible thing to him. The next area that blessed me was we never heard him talk about that situation ever again. Most of us will talk about forgiveness and down the line still repeat that situation. Still repeat it because A, we don't really understand. B, maybe we have not dealt with that issue. The more, if we can deal, I think most of the problem we all have is we want to sweep things a lot under the carpet. We want to hide things, just bury it. Bury it, as they say, this is how these people are, just bury it and move on. And the burying just accumulates and accumulates, and at a certain point it would burst out. I remember an incident that happened with me. I know so many people will not like me sharing this, but it just dropped in my spirit to share. Remember the incident that happened with me. I'd gone to a point where I'd buried a lot of things and I lost my temper, and it cost me a lot. Not proud of it, it cost me a lot. Because I had buried a lot of things. I didn't realize I was buried until the Holy Spirit opened up to me and said, "You're burying things. Don't bury anything. Let it out. Free yourself from it." That taught me a lesson. That taught me a lesson not to bury anything because it's not worth it. Clean your house, clean your carpet, clean your mind, and move on. We all make mistakes. It is our ability to grow no matter what situations or life throws at you. There is a lesson in there for all of us to learn. It's our willingness to learn that lesson. It's our willingness to move to the next level. Forget what people will say. Always remember, there are people who would come recruited by Satan that have come to affect your flesh, that have come with words. "Oh, you're weak. You're desperate. You are a doormat." All the words that will make you feel bad for forgiving. But the Lord, if you are with the Lord, He says, "If you love me," He doesn't say much, "keep my commandments." He says, "Pray for your enemies. Bless them who persecute you." I leave you today. I pray for all our enemies, for those who have hurt me or are still waiting to hurt me. May God bless you and keep you. May He make His face to shine upon you and give you the peace that you are after. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Love you guys. Bless you. Bye for now.